Yoshi here with the 2-0. Is this? I think Yoshi and Astral is 2-0. Let's put this up for the time being. So we did just see Yoshi take down the Grixis Epiphany deck, right?
Yep, we did see that, and now we're going to see the dark side of playing a white creature strategy in a world where Meat Hook Massacre exists and the mana to use it. Oh my! We showed up just in time for the meat to get massacred.
That was definitely a heck of a turn. Oh, Yoshi.
Oof!
Barely survives there. Goodness.
2 life, no board. Sungold Sentinel knows about the Goldspan Dragon. It was exiled before, I'm assuming, by an elite spellbinder. Yeah, a mana short here of hooking up the Sungold Sentinel with the Maul the Skyclaves to block. So this is just, brutal. And I can't tell. That must be game 1 because that was quick.
That was indeed game 1.
Oh, this matchup in general is going to come down a lot to having the right cards in the right place. Very fortunate in game 1 to have that Meat Hook Massacre. It looks like it's a single copy. So, that is a pretty tough one to swallow for the mono white deck. And it was trying to hang in there against Goldspan anyway. These cards are really powerful. Now Culling Ritual and Crush the Weak are joining the squad for the Dragon player. And that's going to be a really tough thing for the white player to battle through. But she does get to be on the play. So mono white sideboard strategy mostly stays the same without too many big adaptations. You just get to go faster and harder. Okay, I can see now there's 2 Meat Hook Massacres in the main. So out of one of. I like those hooks. Those hooks came prepared for aggro.
It looks like the Orzhov Cleric matchup, neither player is currently streaming. Streaming was optional until top 8, and then we can watch any list we want. They have to at least stream to the Discord, so that won't be a problem moving forward. And also, Silent Knight could end up in a match against one of the creators who are streaming.
Yep. Really leaning on our creators to provide us with the coverage. So thank you very much to everybody streaming the event. Very appreciated.
Yeah, it's pretty neat that it's a creator open, so that's definitely pretty helpful. All right, so the green, the clerics, and the burn are the 3 sort of interesting ones. And then there's a Zach Brown with the Mardu Treasures, which seems pretty interesting as well. Because we have seen both Yoshi and Astral here play a game before. So let's take a quick look at Swords, another content creator. Yoshi is down a game here against Astrals. And let's get something a little different up, guys.
Tainted Adversary, Angel Fire Ignition. Okay. This stuff is happening. Veggie Wagon, that's got to be Veggie Wagon. With the Vadric deck, yes. For sure, right? Okay. There's no way 2 of those showed up. That thing is way too unique.
Agreed. It is definitely a pretty unique card. I've never really seen it played on the ladder before.
What turn are we in? We also have background. We have is that significant other on the shoulder going on? I guess that would be speculation, but we have another person hanging out on the right shoulder of Cat Dad.
I'm actually kind of excited to see give Veggie Wagon's deck another chance to see what it can do here. Definitely a pretty tough game. It's interesting that he chose to play that pre-combat. It does get first strike and trample. Combat.
Embercleave at Home, I think, should be the official name of the card. But yeah, first strike and trample. Coming through for a lot of damage. Also gets around the death touch of the Tainted Adversary. Do you think it was like a double bluff where Veggie didn't want the adversary to block the Archmage? So just was like, here, it has first strike. Don't block it.
Yeah, either that or it was trying to entice them to block it. I don't know which. Just knowing how much trample damage would come through. Like if you're trying to trick them and you don't want them to know how much trample damage, right? You cast it beforehand. But if you're a little scared of the 5/6 body and don't have another way to really get rid of it, then you're kind of hoping they block with that. Is possibly an option.
5/6 and growing here from Showdown of the Scalds. We've got Graveyard Trespasser also on the stack. Might be receiving that Angel Fire Ignition.
Yeah, that pesky Angel Fire is a heck of a card. It is also important to note here, I do believe Veggie Wagon is 1-1, because we did see Veggie lose in game 1, but we are paired up to the 2-0 here for the Mardu Treasures.
Okay, also nice to know that Veggie recovered from that tough round 1 to pick up the W. And this reject is super interesting. The Cat Dad can pay for it, so it is card negative, but if you pay for it, you don't get to flashback Angel Fire Ignition, which means you don't gain life, which means that Delver of Secrets is threatening to drop you to 1? I guess 2, because of the Graveyard Trespassers enters the battlefield ability.
Yeah,
Well,
if that's dropping you, if it's dropping you to 1 though, there is quite a few things in Veggie's deck that can close that gap, right? So we've got the Embercleave at Home, which we talked about a little bit. We've got cards like Magma Opus, which I think we might be 1 mana off casting. Rhystic Study in the main here. So there's definitely some things that can close the gap. I think the Ignition kind of needed to happen here with Veggie having 3 cards in hand, but we'll see.
Yeah, the Shambling Ghast in hand also crucial because Hall of the Storm Giants could just power up to put the opponent on lethal watch. Oh my goodness.
This is a tough game, and this is game 1, guys. I'm really excited that we're going to get to see a full, at least a second game of this.
So, spoiler alert, I've grabbed Veggie's stream. As Spikefield Hazard as one of the cards that can get rid of the Shambling Ghast. Has Shatterskull Smashing as another card that can get rid of the Trespasser and the Ghast. And the third card is an island.
If we Shatterskull Smashing the Ghast, though, then we're not swinging for lethal, which means the adversary would be lethal on the way back.
Mm-hmm. So
we have, it's some tough gameplay here.
Yep, tough choices. Now, the Smashing going to 6 means that it doubles. So the Smashing could get rid of the adversary and something else, like the Trespasser. But okay, powering up the Hall and attacking with everything and hoping, I think that this was an all-in gamble. I think Veggie said, all I need is for Cat Dad to choose to go to 1 and I win because of that Spikefield Hazard. And Cat Dad saw right through it. Man, that's a tough attack to make because like it's such a good looking block, right? That really is like that's an all-in mind games kind of attack. Am I saying this right? 64 cards.
I think you might have
64 card deck.
There might have been a bit of a delay, maybe. I don't know if maybe they had already put the board cards in.
I think it's a 64 card deck. I think we've got a true brewer special of I don't know what to cut.
I mean, it's 2-0 and up a game, so
yeah, doing it. I guess we'll see because the sideboard has to be 15. So maybe stuff got added to it faster than I could process.
I was not looking. I was looking at chat, so we'll see. It looks like we're trimming down to 60 though.
Okay. We'll see. I gotta know, guys. Come on, chat. Is this 64 or do we have the sweet 60?
We could count the pips, but that seems tough.
The Test of Talents. This could be a 4-color deck. Those are strictly off the treasure right? Yeah, Test of Talents is strictly a treasure splash. Darn it, I missed it. Did you see if it was 64?
Nope, I didn't.
All right, that's just going to torture me now. Chat better have watched.
We could take a look at the list.
I love that we've got the shared home office here. We've got the background. Somebody's working away, probably on a brilliant. What do you think is being worked on in the background? I'm going to say it's a blog article about maybe the Star Wars prequels and how they feel 20 years later.
Maybe it's writing up an article about why 64 card decks are the new meta.
Chat says the list is 60. Okay, it's just me making up banter. Don't worry about it.
Like I said, I wasn't. I assumed he just put in some sideboard cards before taking out, before cutting. I typically add before removing.
Me too. It's just so fast. It got me, Got me.
So it looks like we've got a mulligan from both players at this point.
Also looks like we have Test of Talents brought in just off the treasure splash. There aren't that many treasures in the deck, though. There was Kalane and there was Shambling Gas. That's a pretty low count, all things considered.
So it looks like Yoshi's taking a mull to 5, and we are keeping 6 here.
This hand it's not going to put pressure on the battlefield until turn 3, unless the top of the deck has something to say about that. And it feels like Cat Dad is the beat down here. So this is a very slow hand, and it's going to rely a lot on a few things coming together. This Test of Talents hitting something useful, the top of the deck coughing up a Showdown or a Goldspan Dragon. So let's see what happens. Veggie's hand, using my other caster vision, since both these players are being so kind as to stream, doesn't have a third land. So it's going to get dicey here in a second.
Unless Veggie can find it, right?
Veggie has a Magma Opus to make a treasure. That'll play a Vadric, but yeah, you're going to need that third land pretty soon.
And it does look like we've decided to cast the Magma Opus.
Third land off the top, like a good streamer should do. Thinking about getting on the board first, has the Vadric, also has a divide by 0 and a reject. So if this Vadric sticks and can start getting ahead in the day-night cycle, that's going to be really good. Here's the problem. That Graveyard Trespasser is a real headache because it also plays with the day-night cycle, and it hits really hard. So Vadric reducing the cost of reject lets the reject get played off the treasure, making that top deck land look amazing.
That land definitely saved Veggie's butt, because once we get the Angel Fire Ignition going onto that Trespasser, it's going to be really tough. But Veggie's down a ton of cards, being on the play, taking an extra mulligan or two. We're in a tough spot for sure. We're going to need some good draws. A lot needs to go right here, I think.
Well, Veggie's last card is Divide by 0. And I think what you're going to see, we'll see if Veggie has it. Yep, Teachings. This is where Teachings of the Archaics and Divide by 0 are so powerful in the format. You can play these bounce spells, these card negative spells, and then Teachings completely reloads you because there are more than 4 cards in advantage to Cat Dad. Veggie draws 3 from this Teachings.
Yeah.
That's just a new hand.
And it's pretty good card advantage, too. I think he only drew 2, though, because he had 1 card in hand from the draw, right?
No, he went down to 0 on the Teachings and picked up 3 new ones.
Oh, did he play a land then pre-combat?
Yep.
Or
the draw was a land.
Ah.
And now we get to see another side of this deck. Seize the Storm is going to make a 5/5 because of all the instants and sorceries in the graveyard, because that Trespasser never got to be on the battlefield to eat them.
Isn't Seize? I think Seize is similar to The one from Strixhaven. I think it counts cards in the exile.
Oh, it does?
I think
that's
so. I could be mistaken, but I'm fairly sure.
Let me try it. Choose an elemental creature token. Create an elemental creature token with trample and power and toughness are equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, plus the number of cards you have in exile. Yeah, you're 100% right.
So the Trespasser isn't going to stop the seas from being a problem. It will, however, prevent the seas from being cast again. But I think we've already gotten some pretty good value out of it here.
That 5/5 is, and the fact that the Vadrik is up to a 3/4, we're racing now.
So I like that the cards we don't see in Constructed, I know what they do because I play them in Limited.
Yeah, you got me there. So why don't you remind us all what Lunar Frenzy does?
I don't.
Embercleave at home.
Oh, Lunar Frenzy. Okay, sorry, I'm bad with card names. So it's X and a red. It gives first strike and trample, I believe. Yeah, and so it's just a big Embercleave, right? So
yeah, kind of a Howl from Beyond meets Embercleave.
And Vadrik is going to reduce the cost of that card by a fair amount, so that's pretty cute.
Yeah, it looks like 8. Are we talking about an 8-pointer here?
We don't have a blue mana open for the Test of Talents either.
That's right. It's only a splash off the treasures. There's no lands in the deck that can cast it, and that is cute sideboard tech that's getting quite a bit punished here. Because Lunar Frenzy down to exactly 0.
Is there a really cute play here if you have 2 Lunar Frenzies where you cast it for all but 1 red mana and then you cast your second one using Vadrik's power?
Oh my gosh, that would be that's the ultimate Embercleave at home. You gave it double strike in a sneaky way.
Yeah, because so we didn't have the second one. We just pumped it to 11, but we could have pumped it to 10, leaving 1 red open, and then casting the second one for X equals 10 from the Vadrik, right? That's nuts. Mm-hmm. That's so much power. Crazy.
It requires a lot to happen, but when it happens, it's beautiful. All right, the Test of Talents are out. They have been sliced from the deck, perhaps losing faith in the treasures to cast them. We're going to game 3.
I'm actually really excited for this matchup because it's 2 very funky decks that we don't see, in the meta. Veggies definitely, we see some treasures and some Gruul. I'm sorry, not Gruul. Some of the not Mardu, but we're seeing the green, black, red version. Jund.
Rakdos shows up sometimes.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know if that's that. So we're looking at a hand of 6 lands and a 2/2 haste for 2. That can't be a keep, right? I don't know. I can't keep that. Let's see what Cat Dad thinks of it. On the other hand, I think we've got a pretty snap keep from Veggie. Veggie's still thinking about it, but there are lands and spells. It looks very playable, including a turn 1 Delver of Secrets.
Turn 1 Delver of Secrets is really what Veggie wants to be doing. That's pretty good start. I think Delver is the only spell pretty much, which is nuts.
Yep. That and the legendary, but that's about it. The Vadrik, the Archmage. Yeah. The Bloodthirsty Adversary coming down as a 2/2 and actually in the tank about whether or not to attack here.
I feel like we do. We're winning the race.
Oh, I see. In the tank about advertising one's stream. Yeah. When you're in game 3 and you keep a 6-lander and you know this could be your last chance in the feature, hell yeah. Get it. Let's go. Well played. Twitch.tv/swords and statutes.
What I do want to say, seeing as how we're taking the time to make sure we advertise ourselves on coverage, it would really help us out if you didn't have 4 different names. Just saying. your Discord name does not match your Twitch name, which does not match your Melee name, which does not match your YouTube.
Roasted. Getting roasted by a true pro here. I love it. You get in there. You've earned it. You have done this a long time.
Match. We're 2-0 with a funky deck. Advertised to your heart's content, my friend. We love the list. I love the list.
But that branding though. That branding. We gotta unify the brands. We gotta unite the brands. Join us. Unite the brands. That's what you gotta do. Any chat know what movie I'm stealing that from? Unite the brands. It's Braveheart. I'm giving it away. It's Braveheart. Veggie is doing it again. Veggie needs a third land on this draw step.
Oof.
Ooh, baby.
We got there last time.
Fire. Playing with fire so much.
Cat has managed to top deck a playable spell every single turn. So, like, if we get a turn where that is a brick, things might not turn out quite so well. But we also have the Hive Mind to keep pressure up. I feel like if Veggie gets a land here, though, it's going to be a pretty quick game.
Well, I've got news. It's a land.
But
tapped. It's a tapped one. Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if we can hold open the first strike spell, right? +2/+0 and first strike make a treasure. That's a thing that we can do here, which that looks like what we are going to do.
This is a really cool situation because the first strike ability is face up, right? So normally, when you pass, you're really worried to use it because your opponent knows about it. And then what's funny about this is Cat Dad attacked anyway, even though Cat Dad had nothing to do about it. Because I think Cat Dad is thinking, I'm going to attack because Veggie knows that I know about this card. You know what I mean? So he's hoping that Veggie will believe there's a removal spell or a blowout waiting, a trick, and it actually wasn't there. And Veggie just snap called it anyway. Probably because there's no stick on the client. Oh. All right, you're shutting it down.
I mean, we paused to start advertising websites, so we're going to just switch sides here.
Fair. Legit. Well played.
Come
on, guys. Gameplay first.
Yeah.
Let your gameplay do the talking. You gotta advertise a little, but that's too far.
That's a little shiesty.
So, here we are. Veggie doesn't know that these are lands in hand pretty much all the way through.
Right.
We're going to see how he approaches these next few turns. It seems like Vaedric coming down is great because it holds up Divide by Zero as well. There is that where something bad could happen.
I like the play with holding open the Divide by Zero. Now that we have the mana going and the 2 divides, this feels really strong from Veggie's side of the board.
Yeah. We'll see what swords can top deck. That's pretty much where we're at. The hand kind of required it from the beginning. And I'm going to keep an eye on that side of things.
I do want to say that 2 games in a row, we needed that third land and managed to hit it on Veggie's side, so that's running hot.
Well, the top deck is a hot one too.
From Cat Dad's side?
Yep. Cat Dad, a.k.a. Swords, a.k.a. something on YouTube, a.k.a. something else somewhere else, has drawn Showdown of the Skalds.
Okay, well, that doesn't help necessarily this turn, and we are going to bounce that, I assume.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure it will get divided by 0, and with a second divide by 0 lurking, it's going to take a while for Showdown to happen. So it's going to be tough, but if it does happen, it's one of the few cards that can get you back in this game from this being way down. So the sequencing you need, you have to draw Duress. right? If you draw a duress and then you can take the divide by 0, then cast the showdown next turn, you might have time to let it pay off.
That's a big might, though, I think, at this point.
You gotta play to your outs, which I think is why you see the showdown getting cast, not something with like possibly powering up Hive or attacking or trying to do stuff like that. I think you just have to force it and go for it. Sometimes you gotta play to really, really small outs.
That is certainly true. Oh. So now even if we do find that out, we're still good, right? Because, oh no, we played a land that turn. I thought we'd already played one.
Yeah, the Jwari looks like it can help, but there's another
this makes
untapped
anatomy
land.
free. That's cute.
Oh,
What does that
so
do for Mascot
sneaky.
Exhibition? How much is Mascot Exhibition going to cost?
7, Matt. It would cost 1.
Oh my goodness.
What is happening? What are we watching?
Oh my gosh. Veggie's doing it. Veggie is doing it.
Are you kidding me right now?
Oh my gosh. If that's not the game, I don't know what is.
Top deck of Doomscar that's not in your list. I don't know, man. The Showdown of the Skalds has no time now. Like,
whoa.
Holy crap.
That was a heck of a turn from Veggie.
He looks very excited about it himself. He's like kind of praying, please let this win. It would be so nice. You have divide by 0 up. Like, the world is your oyster. It's yours, dude.
Yeah,
you got this.
There's not a lot else we could do. Let's see if he forgets about the treasure, right? With the disruption. I think we just divide this, though.
You could also just let it resolve and then divide something interesting that happens because he has lethal on board. Either way, he does it. He's good.
Holy oh my gosh. Oh.
Look how excited he is. What is that? What was that? Those cuts were great. What? He's dancing like on his TV?
Old esports or like Magic coverage. Veggie does a ton of that kind of promotion stuff. He's got sort of like a ton of really cool overlays and things that pop up. Look at
By the way, you can find Veggie Wagon at Veggie Wagon on YouTube, Veggie Wagon on TikTok, Veggie Wagon on Twitch, Veggie Wagon on Twitter. Just getting it out there. Doesn't need to put it on screen when it's that easy.
Oh, man. Veggie. Look at his face. I love to see it. Also, one of our D-Gen streamers. He's an absolute sweetheart.
Swords is upset with me. Look. We all got to learn somehow. Sometimes we get roasted. It happens.
We still love you, Swords. Good game. I love the list, and good luck in the rest of it, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You got Brood on, though. You got Brood on pretty hard. That was insane. That was intense.
Vadricked on. Holy smokes. That 1 mana Mascot Exhibition. Woo. Woo, that was spicy.
Fan me down.
Vincent is 2-0. We actually haven't taken a look at Vincent's deck, and I know Vincent is streaming, so maybe that would be a good one. And that's the Esper Epiphany, which is a tad bit on the different side as well.
Yeah. True lovers of Esper control. They don't give up, man. They just, no matter what cards come out, if they're in Esper colors, we're gonna check it out, and that's just the way that is.
All right, so let's take a quick look while we're waiting for pairings at Vincent's deck tech.
My name is Vincent_246. I am a Magic the Gathering content creator. I do some other games on offside, but mostly Magic. I specialize in Control. It is where I'm most comfortable with. You can find me at Vincent on Twitch, and I'll occasionally be on other people's channels, joining in chats and whatnot. The reason why I chose this list is because I did not want to play Izzet Control. I don't really like the spells in the deck. I don't really care to play Goldspan Dragon. I don't really care to play Alrund's Epiphany. I know Alrund's Epiphany is in this deck, but I'm not planning on doing that. what most decks are trying to do. My goal is to present other decks that are viable and are fun to play and provide a entertainment experience. I am a part of Team Degenerate, and I am thankful for the opportunity to be on MTG Nerd Girls team.
Awesome.
I hope you guys enjoy what I present to you, and I hope I can snake out a win.
He has already snuck in 2 wins, being 2-0 in the event, and I know for a fact that they are streaming. So Vincent will be the next creator that we check out, guys, as far as a preview match, feature match.
Yeah, so Vincent, that deck in particular, pretty cool. I like the basically discussion in the deck tech of, this is what I care for, this is what I love to play. I also like that he describes it as fun and entertaining. It definitely is to some of us. And there's a different Naruto shirt featured in that particular deck tech, by the way. And I also own that Naruto shirt, so feeling connected to this Esper gamer.
I do want to make a small argument. So a lot of people say control. We've seen Esper control a lot in the past in other standard formats. It's not necessarily fun and entertaining because it's kind of a thing, but it is not what we are currently seeing on the meta, and I think that makes it fun and interesting because it's not, is it dragons versus is it dragons? We're not doing the same thing. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And I hope it has the right answers. There's a big variety of answers. We saw the 4 Doomskars, of course, but Poison the Cup, Vanishing Verse, there's a lot of different ways to reach out and kill things, and we'll see if they line up well against whatever Vincent's coming up against in the next round.
All right, so I've got Vincent's stream pulled up, so now we're just going to give it a few minutes until the pairings are up, which should be anytime. I believe everybody is good to go. Everybody is submitted, and our event moderators are saying that pairings are being prepared, and they should be posted any minute. So let's go ahead and pull up Vincent's stream.
Looking over the deck, just gazing at it,
what
wondering
do you think
if
of this list? The one of Massacre, the white for Doomskar, and Vanishing Verse.
Yeah, when I was building Esper, what stood out to me for using white in the control decks was Vanishing Verse and Doomskar. So that doesn't surprise me. What you give up by being Esper is you give up access to some cards that early in the meta were very good, like Devastating Mastery against Mono Green is actually a very important card, but it's almost uncastable in Esper, so you don't want to run it there. And then what you gain is hand hate in the form of duress or things like that in the sideboard, which I'm curious to see how many Vincent runs. I missed that number, but it can come in really handy in the control matchups. And Vanishing Verse is just a sweet removal spell, so it might help you out in the green matchups because you have an easy answer to Troll, which is so strong. But a lot of it depends on what you're up against and if you can, line up those removal spells. Looks like there is a mono green. 2 mono greens are 2/1. So Vincent might be battling one of those.
Okay, so that means the 2-0 list had just lost, and then we had a 1-1 that apparently won. So they are doing quite well. What was the card that you were asking how many we were running?
Duress. Duress, or some kind of a card that gets in the hand and takes a card of your choice and throws it into the abyss, never to be seen again.
Nothing in the main deck.
Yep.
Sideboard, we're looking at also none.
There. Okay, completely going without it. There is a pivot plan. I was able to pull up the sideboard. There is a pivot plan with Suspicious Stowaway in the sideboard, 4 copies of when the opponent, thinks that you're going to take out all your creatures and they take out all their removal. You put in these Seafaring Werewolves and just try to beat them down and gain card advantage. I think that's really clever. There's also 2 more Meat Hook Massacres, which is really good against mono white, but it can be slow against mono green. There's also 2 Baleful Masteries. That's something you can bring from black that not everybody runs, but the exile effect, and they're kind of a universal targeter. That's pretty strong. You also don't see 3 Litho Imrith Desert Dooms very much anymore. It's very interesting to kind of see that card. It strikes me, I bet Vincent would tell you, a fan of Dragonlord Ojutai from a past meta, because that's what a lot of this deck is reminding me of.
I do remember Ojutai. That was a very fun deck back in the day. I mean, fun for other people, not my kind of thing.
I have a Dragonlord Ojutai commander deck that you would have judged me very harshly for.
I mean, I judge you harshly all the time. It's fine.
True. There's also 2 Lithium Blights. This is an enchantment that makes a land lose all abilities and tap for colorless or pay 1 life for a mana vein color. That's a nod to like Faceless Haven and the creature lands in the format that cause a lot of trouble. So some Lithium Blights is some interesting technology, because one of the things you also give up from like being Azorius or Dimir control is Field of Ruin. You don't really want to run Field of Ruin in your 3-color mana base. So Vincent making some concessions there and running Lithium Blight in the deck.
All right, it looks like we are paired up against Turtlebox here with our control deck. And Turtlebox is running the mono white aggro. Real quick, while we're waiting for this to get started, I want to just draw some attention to our 3-0 decks. There's 4 of them: Dimir Control, Orzhov Clerics, Jund Treasures, and Boros Burn. So we do have quite a wide range here in the undefeated category. So I'm excited to see what some of these variety lists will bring and who will make it into the top 8.
I've got Turtle White's side of things over here, so I can give some insight into their hand if and when we need it. For the most part, play white creatures, attack with them. You love to see some purple love here, the purple Hedron emote on the channel.
We do so many crossovers every once in a while. I get it, and I know it's because they know me from you, so like it's super cute. I love to see it.
The most important card in the matchup is in the hand. Yeah, Doomscar. Card's been all over the place on coverage today.
Yes, I've been playing a fair amount of Azorius Control, oftentimes without even Epiphany, and I just basically mulligan to Doomscar. If you get one, you kind of can't lose the game at that point, so definitely interesting to see here.
Have you played Azorius Control off stream yet?
Yes, when I was at your house, I needed a daily win.
That counts.
That definitely counts.
That's true. We got her, Control Mages. She's one of us.
One of us.
Lining up the Foretells here is interesting. It's a mono Foretell hand with Behold the Multiverse, Saw It Coming, All Runs Epiphany, Doomscar. And it looks like Behold the Multiverse gets the Foretell. Not worried so much about getting Saw It Coming set up. Saw It Coming is really at its worst against mono white. They can just always seem to play around it.
It's getting kind of close to the point where I'm liking the
Talk about a content creator.
Whoa, that's so many things.
It is a content creator showdown when you have emotes taking over the screen in a tournament setting. Yeah, this is basically Vincent passed the turn to force this Behold the Multiverse through the Tax of Redain, and definitely plans to cast Doomscar. Needs to find an untapped land to do it, but we'll get to look at the top 4 with Behold, and we'll get to look at one more with the draw step, so hopefully we'll find one. 2 Vanishing Verses.
It's going to be good in the matchup for sure.
Chooses to keep 1. A little gutsy. I'd be very scared of not finding the land, but Deserted Beach shows up. One of the key additions to the mana base from Innistrad Midnight Hunt.
Yeah, got really lucky here to find that land.
And then the beautiful Doomscar. I'm a little bit frustrated, Vincent, not even smiling on that Doomscar. I always throw an evil smile with the sweeper. I think it's almost mandatory. Maybe Vincent will find the pure joy that comes from that excellent Doomscar in the future.
And having a Meat Hook Massacre, I know we don't have the double black to cast it right now, but it is a very nice like backup plan I think I would just kind of snap off the verse here, right?
I think so. Being rewarded for taking that verse. Still not prioritizing like saw it coming very much, but maybe just going to hold it up here. You could let Adeline attack one time, vanishing verse it, let one token get created. You only take 3. You're going to kill that token later with the massacre anyway.
Yeah.
So if he wants to hold saw it coming through this turn, I get it.
I don't think I let it through personally, just because I don't like having to meat hook massacre for 4 to get rid of it. If we're going to vanishing verse it eventually anyway, then I definitely don't want to let this happen.
Yeah.
And we win the long game every time, right? We just need to survive.
Hopefully. We've seen white do some pretty nasty stuff because it is powerful and it does have threats in the mana base, but most of the time, yeah, especially with Alrund's epiphanies flowing off the deck, it looks like they're in a great position for the long game. What's better than one epiphany? All the epiphanies.
Double casting 4 of them, apparently.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The meta.
There's the smile. Okay, we got the smile, we got the laughs. Not into sweepers, definitely into birds.
And because we vanishing versed on that turn, left our mana open, so we can just kind of do whatever the heck we want. Including just back-to-back epiphanies.
Back-to-back epiphanies is pretty strong. But do you stay aggressive? How many birds attack?
Yeah, it's important to note that we are still, even though the tides have turned, we are still on, 11 life, which with cards like Faithless Haven and Cave in play, that's not a healthy life total against white sometimes.
Turtle Box, to give you a glimpse of the hand, the cards that we can't see, actually has Portable Hole and Brutal Cathar in hand. Could have tried to use those to remove some of the birds. Instead, chooses to send the Haven into the Hive.
I actually really like that play.
Yeah?
Getting rid of the Faithless Haven is kind of key. I think that's one of the only things that's going to survive our sweepers, which there are several. We've got plenty of counter magic to deal with everything else. I think we win the long game with or without the Hive. And we have a Hall in play, so...
I fully agree. I love the trade with the Hive.
Happy to let this resolve too. I don't think I'm wasting a Saw It Coming on it.
But my bird, a little bird token. Not the most devastating Portable Hole. And now the Sun Gold Sentinel creates a target for the Saw It Coming. Turtlebox has a Brutal Cathar and a Maul the Skyclaves back. One good thing about a Brutal Cathar is you can use that day-night cycle to keep killing more and more birds. So I think that Turtlebox was trying to draw out that Saw It Coming by throwing away that Sun Gold Sentinel. There just won't be time. We see the Saw It Coming, we see the Meat Hook Massacre, and we see this Hall of the Storm Giants is getting busy. Not even holding up counter magic here.
I mean, at this point, there isn't a whole lot I think that white can produce that will make me want to hold back the counter magic, knowing that we've got the Meat Hook Massacre in hand. I think I'm fine to put the clock on here. Anything they cast is going to have to block the Hall in the future anyway.
Yeah, the boomers will call it putting them in the Abyss, right? Because the Abyss is an old card that said you had to sacrifice a creature every upkeep. They have to put a creature in front of the Hall every single turn to stay alive. So in a way, they're in the Abyss. It's a very sad place to be when you're a creature deck.
Which actually just kind of translates into a card advantage, because instead of countering that one card, they have to throw it under a bus to produce the same amount of damage you would have had if you had countered it by attacking with the Hall the next turn, and you get to keep the counter spell, right?
Yep. It's pretty nasty, which is why All the Storm Giants is a game changer. It hits so hard that as soon as you can get them to 7 or less life, they have to respect it indefinitely.
It also kills the Cave activation, because there's no way they're ever going to have enough mana to play a creature plus activate Cave, so any Cave activation is going to just be a chump blocker. which feels really good.
Yeah, we call that virtual card advantage when one card neutralizes several other cards or options on the opponent's side, and there is no coming back for mono white. Turtle Box packs it up. We're going to the next game. Yep, test of talent's not what you want against mono white. This is where sideboarding in a best of 3 tournament actually feels really good for a control deck, because you get to tailor your deck to the threats that you're facing, something that's really hard to do in best of 1. For me, it's like the greatest challenge of best of 1 deck building and something I like about it. But when you get into best of 3, your control deck and your sideboard plans definitely get better and better. We see Saw It coming out as well.
Duck is angry, suggesting I bring your camera down. I actually moved it up because that's where Vincent's ad wheel is. So we can't see it anyway. So I was just trying to block out some of the unnecessary advertising space.
See, she's already looking out for you. Of course, you could hide me altogether.
I should put the ad over your face.
Yeah, there you go. Some would call that an improved broadcast. I don't know. Okay, so I checked out where I'm at on your stream. I like my little top of the screen corner. I'm good. I'm good. I can dominate it.
You are normally down on top of the cool stuff ad for most of it. It's just, it seemed like a big wall of ads, so.
Big wall of ad. Yeah. The great ad wall of Twitch. The way it is.
All right, Paladin class, and no mulligans on either side of the board, but a very flooded hand from Vincent. But we do have double black, which makes this a pretty good starting hand for us. I'm pretty happy with it.
I would be very nervous about this hand, especially on the draw. I would consider it really bad, except I also have double vision. I'm looking at Turtle Box's hand. There is no 1-drop and no 2-drop.
Yeah, the only reason I disagree is just because I think Meathook Massacre is probably one of the best cards in the matchup. So you're feeling a little bit stronger, but I agree. Like, it's definitely not a good hand.
Yeah, and Meathook Massacre met its arch nemesis in the format, an Elite Spellbinder, trying to tax it out of the game. One thing that happens to Meathook Massacre that can be really nasty is Elite Spellbinder plus Redain. It can be a complete lock, and it's almost like I knew that was coming.
It's almost like you knew.
And you know what didn't happen? Saw it coming, because Paladin class taxed it. So the saw it coming, even though it was foretold and the mana was there, couldn't be cast because of Paladin class.
So this goes to show you, like, the power of what white can do against control with Spellbinder and Redain. Now, one thing that we know is coming is Athalia as well, which is going to kind of continue this tax on the more controlling decks, right?
Absolutely. Thalia revealed to be in the next set, Crimson Vow. It's going to be a lot. This Doomscar, though, showed up just in time, got foretold just in time, which means it could be played through the Redain. But Faceless Haven, Cave of the Frost Dragon, and Paladin class is going to hit hard and fast, and Meathook Massacre will not be a way out from those.
I've been really impressed with the lands and how they've been able to combat the control deck's early removal spells. And honestly, at this point, Saw It Coming isn't going to do it. We already have one foretold. It's just not quite good enough. So it's going to put us into a game 3.
Yeah, you got to see exactly why Saw It Coming is very, very rough against the white deck. It doesn't stop their late game creature land plan. It gets taxed by Paladin class. It's just really hard to line it up well. So I wouldn't be surprised. Vincent went down to 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Vincent went to 0 Saw It Comings here. There it is. Game 3. Esper was in complete control in game 1. Game 2, what looked like a slow draw from Mono White showed that it could still be powerful and smash right through Meathook Massacre and a timely Doomscar. What will happen this time?
We already have one mulligan from Turtlebox. We're on the play against white, which is helpful. And we have one of the better cards in the format in the Doomscar, but we don't have a second white source. So we're going to have to see if we can put that together much sooner rather than later.
Speaking of a second white source, Turtle Box, using my caster vision, kept a 1 lander.
On the draw? Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, we got that white source, though. Feels pretty good.
Well, if one good top deck deserves another, it looks like Turtle Box has the second land.
They both drew it.
Interesting spot. Doesn't look like a board that's worth doom scarring yet. The Malevolent Hermits are in, which that's pretty interesting as well. The Hermit could... Oh, yeah. So you don't hold up a Hermit activation there. Just going straight to the Doomscar.
I don't think I would have done that. I probably would have beheld the multiverse, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I might have as well. I'm curious exactly what the thought process is, because that you're probably going to miss a land drop. Like, that's going to happen eventually. Behold can get you through that. If you miss land drops, this Imrith is stuck, and I mean stuck. And the Baleful Mastery lets the opponent draw a card. That's so brutal.
I'm wondering if the thought process is just preserve life total to combat the Faithless Haven later in the game. Maybe they feel like with the Baleful Mastery that they have enough spot removal, but...
Keep it up, man. Keep drawing those lands. Goes for double blue to line up the Imrith.
Yeah, it also allows double Hermit here, which I'm also kind of fine with.
Yep. It does mean top decking Meat Hook Massacre is a tilt.
Yeah, there's one of them in the deck. I don't know if we boarded any in as well.
Yeah, can go up to 3 after board. I would be stunned if they aren't there, because I think they're for this matchup and not much else. So we'll see. We'll see. Here comes an Elite Spellbinder.
Ooh, I thought for a second he was going to hit the Summoning Stick one. I was like, wait, what?
That's a content play that control mages learn to master, is hovering over the wrong thing just long enough to give their viewers heart palpitations. It increases engagement.
Gosh dang it, CGB.
You'll find out as you keep playing those control decks. You'll learn to enjoy it. You're toying with them like a heart monitor.
And now that I'm doing coverage, right? We'll see a bit more of that.
That Imrith getting hit by the Spellbinder was crucial. That's the third one, I believe. So those Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa invitational cards are getting their taxing effects to work very well.
Yeah, my understanding, wasn't it supposed to be a set earlier that he could have chosen a card but decided to hold off and wait for a card that was a little bit more impactful?
Maybe. Yeah, I that would have been a pretty smooth move on his part. I wouldn't put it past Paulo one bit. Oh my gosh, look at these uncastable blue cards. 8 mana for a Behold the Multiverse because of attacks from Elite Spellbinder and Redain. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the 1-2 punch here of Redain Spellbinder in both games has been pretty brutal.
Vincent just almost missed a land drop there. Looks like can still hit it, but puts it on the bottom and draws one. Okay. I believe Vincent's drawn like 5 straight lands to keep the deck humming, which has been pretty impressive to see. But Redain is doing its work again.
Redain is only by 1, right?
2.
Oh, it's 2. Okay, yeah. I was like, if it's only 1, I think I would have kept it, but... Wow. Okay, so... It's kind of nice that the Redain is vigilant here, because it allows us to take it and get a blocker, but we're still in some... Oh my god. Oh, hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts.
And this punishes the Brutal Cathar.
Yeah, it does.
Because the Brutal Cathar now gives back a Hermit.
We're not casting it?
Oh.
What?
Hold on.
What is happening?
I don't know. This is dead. You're dead in the air, but you can steal a Vigilant Redain. But this dies to a card called Fateful Absence.
Absence, yeah, absolutely. How are we?
And I'm gonna spoil it. It's there.
Oh my gosh.
But Malevolent Hermit can counter it.
Yep. But then we don't have
Okay.
Malevolent Hermit for the blocks, which means we're still pretty close to dead.
Okay, Turtlebox needs to have some discretion here. Turtlebox could have waited till their own turn and paid the 3 to resolve the Fateful Absence.
That's true.
But is Power Up Haven lethal?
They might not have seen...
It's down. Yes, it is. It's still lethal. It's still lethal. It's all right. It's all right. Oh my God. Okay, so a little roller coaster there towards the end. Vincent, top deck's Doomscar, decides not to play it, runs into a double whammy. Okay, the Doomscar was dead to the Haven. That's why. The Doomscar was just dead to the Haven.
You're right.
But it wasn't. It wasn't because of the Brutal Cathar.
Yeah, we would have gotten a blocker back.
But it also was, and he didn't know this because of the Fateful Absence.
Yes.
So Vincent in that spot was dead either way, given either line picked and proper play by Turtlebox. So same result, but very interesting end to the game.
Yeah, I definitely think I Doomscar get the blocker back there, and hope for spot removal for the Haven or another Epiphany, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Either way, crazy games, well played by both Vincent and Turtlebox.
Yep. Chat speculating on if Doomstar was castable. It was. The only tax on the top decked Doomscar was the Redain, and there were 7 lands available.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at the Astral's Flames Jund Treasures is still undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe we have not taken a look at Astral Flames and his deck tech yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Hey everyone, Astral's Flames.
And we will pop over to the, I will move my fat head. And then we're going to pop over to Astral's match. This is a pretty interesting one, so let's take a look. We might have done this one, I'm not sure.
I'm with Degenerate Gaming here to show you Jund Dragons, the deck that I'll be playing in the Degenerate Gaming Creator Open. This is going to be a really exciting tournament with some of the Degenerate Gaming team members, our community members and patrons, and I'm super excited to play in this. And of course, with me, it has to be Jund, and I love dragons. So here's the deck that I'll be bringing. Let's talk about it. So you're going to see in the 1 mana slot, we've got some really nice includes. I've got Shambling Ghast. We're running just Spare Signals. We are early ramp and potentially early removal. Partnering into our 2 mana slot, I'm utilizing Kalane, the Prosperous Innkeeper, and Magda for that little bit of treasure synergy and early mana excel. By utilizing all of these initial cards, we generate extra mana that by turn 3, we can get some big haymakers already on the board. Now, obviously, ramps keep pretty important, but removal is also nice too. I'm running a triple Dragon's Fire. I'm running a double Meathook Massacre for board clear. We have 2 Soul Shatters in there. So big creature, big mana cost stuff out of the way. Single target removal done. Board wipe against mono white. Meathook Massacre has me covered. For a little bit of a draw package, this is where the Deadly Dispute comes in. Also, a little bit of ramp. Kind of fun, but being able to draw 2 cards and sacrificing in Shambling Ghast gives us 2 treasures, draw 2, basically free, and then gets us into that nice big swing turn that I love on turn. And our haymakers are what we're trying to get out in there. This is where the boys come in. The Immerstrom Predator, the Ebon Death Draco Lich, our Essica's Chariot, the Goldspan Dragon, and our good friend Ren and 7. We're going to be making some big things, big mana, big stuff, copying tokens, all the love that we love to do. Mana base wise, we're pretty tight here. I'm only 21 lands. We are running a couple of the mana lands, the Lair of the Hydra, the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, a couple Forest and Swamp, Field of Ruin, so we can deal with those pesky non-basic lands that our opponents like to run. Our All-Star Temple of the Dragon Queen, so we can always fix our mana base, and of course our pathways. So getting our colors to hit our spells is never an issue with this deck. What's really fun is when we get into games 2 and 3 of a best of 3 match. Our sideboard is pretty diverse. We're running a 4 discard package of Devour Intellects and Duresses, so we have a 2 and 2. Devour Intellect, when used with a treasure, is basically a Thoughtseize that doesn't cost you life, and Duress is just a nice key removal spell that we're going to be hit, something like an Alrund's Epiphany. Outland Liberator coming in clutch against that mono green mirror match, so you can get rid of their enchantment to double attack and toughness. or you can get rid of Ranger class, Crush the Weak for the mono white, Infernal coming in for that control mat, so you just have a big dragon that's going down, Infernal Grasp for key removal, Price of Loyalty so we can steal some big creatures for our opponents and sacrifice them to that awesome Deadly Dispute. Calling Ritual again for that mono white matchup. We just blow up the board and get a ton of mana to play more free stuff. And lastly, of course, our secondary copy of the Wrenn and 7. So we can double up on our board depending on the matchup we're really going against. Very excited to play in this open. I hope you're excited to see some of the gameplay. And I wish everyone playing in the best of luck. And keep believing, friends. I'll see you on the match.
All right, so this deck was 3-0, just lost to the Orzhov Clerics.
Orzhov Clerics cleaning up then.
Yeah, 4-0 with the Orzhov Clerics. That's by one of our community streamers, Silent Knight, which I just poked to see if Silent Knight is streaming anywhere. I checked his Twitch channel, not currently, so we can also hope to see a sneak peek of that if someone gets paired up against them, or if they want to pop into one of the feature matches and stream live to the Discord. Can we find deck lists somewhere? Cool. Yeah, deck lists are open, so everybody can see them. There is a link there to them. Also, guys, I did, if you're interested in these like cool deck tech videos, I kind of compiled a bunch from our community streamers, as well as our Team Degen streamers, so you guys can check that out on the YouTube channel as well. I'm thinking I'm going to move us over to the other side. Do you think that's better for coverage purposes? For land?
Yeah, give it a shot. Let's try it out.
This is kind of an unofficial test run, which is why we kept it limited only to creators and team patrons, kind of a smaller thing. So I could, work things out with Jaffer and host stuff. So bit of a learning process. I appreciate you guys bearing with us.
The true science of it is now I have to move things from one monitor to the other, so it looks like I'm actually looking at the game that is being played.
I don't ever care about that. I never. Yes. You could. I might be able to flip your camera.
No, I already did it. I did the thing.
Okay, you did it. Nice.
Yeah, got it. It's in the right spot.
So now I'm going to be looking in the opposite direction. We're going to look really awkward.
I just have to put my microphone slightly over here, maybe point it a little, and away we go.
All right, fine. I'll transform my camera.
Join us.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm looking at the right side. Excellent. There you go. Just for you.
Your setup, I've seen your setup. It's a lot tighter than mine. Mine's way more spread out because my desk isn't big enough, so I have these risers. So yours isn't as notable as me when I'm looking a monitor that's way in the wrong direction.
Thank you for the sub, hun. Why can't you find Nerd Girl? She's missing today.
Where is Nerd Girl? Where is she?
All right, I'm still waiting to hear back. I poked Silent Knight, so we'll see if Silent Knight pops up for a match. Poking around to some of the other creators in matches, seeing who's about. Looks like Airball is still in a match. Let's pop in on
yes.
What's the character?
Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandiego. That's right. That's right.
And we'll see if he's able to pull off the heist here, because it looks like against Bad Moon MTG, he's up against a pair of Hermits. And when you got the Geist on one side and the Hermit on the other, both on the battlefield, it feels like almost like a prison lock. It feels like you just can't do anything. So this is gonna get interesting.
This is game 3, and we are in the 2-1 bracket, just to give you guys some context.
You know how many rounds we have?
I believe it's 6 rounds cut to top 8.
Okay.
So we've got 2 more rounds after this, and then top 8 is single elimination. All of the prizes are in top 8.
Yeah, 6-0, of course, will make it. 5-1 will definitely make it, and there might be a couple 4-2s on tiebreakers. So Every match counting here for the 2-1s. This is Jwari Disruption. Has to pay. What are we playing around there? I'm not sure. Very interesting choice. Expressive Iteration definitely starts off this turn. You're not where Galvanic Iteration and Alrund's Epiphany are online yet, so dig a little deeper, see what you see. We see the 2-land Expressive Iteration options.
Let me see if I can pull up the list here for the other side of the board.
All right, we have iterated and we have reiterated, and now revealing a Mind Flayer.
Okay, Mind Flayer is pretty interesting.
Mind Flayer can go after the Hermit. I like the way that Airball handled the split, did it correctly. Took the land into hand, put the iteration into exile, recast the iteration so that you could still hit the land when you hit it off the second iteration.
I was actually going to say, I think the Mind Flayer is still in 4 cards like Goldspan Dragon. This is the more classic Is It list that Airball is currently playing against.
This is game 3. I can see the markers in both corners. Airball has 8 minutes and 50 seconds to crush this game, or when time expires, he will be the loser.
Pretty interesting decision to cast the Disruption there.
I think it makes activating the Hermit a little more awkward. It also plays around 3 mana cards like
Divide by 0 is what I was thinking.
Divide by 0. Yep.
Yeah. So it stops the... But here's the thing, though, because we're going to be targeting the Goldspan Dragon, right?
But it's not with a spell. It's with an ability.
But we could bounce the...
There is a fading hope to bounce the dragon.
Okay. That's interesting. Do you ever consider just bouncing the Mind Flayer and end of turn getting your dragon back and then sending again?
I think you would if you had Alrund's Epiphany. So this play might be a tell that you don't, because letting the opponent have their Mind Flayer and forcing them to recast it doesn't matter if you can end the game. But this might be a tell that Epiphany is not in the hand, that the Bad Moon doesn't have all the tools that Bad Moon needs here. So here it comes. I think Airball just has to go for this now.
I think so.
The bad news is that the Hermit can counter 1. Yeah. The Hermit can counter 1. So if there's one more counter from Bad Moon, then the whole it nukes the whole combo.
We still have these pesky treasures to deal with too.
Yep, they might allow a counterspell here if there is one, but there isn't.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That is a little bit what Airball needed to be in his favor.
Yeah.
We are 2 damage off of lethal this turn. Disruption's cute.
Not cute enough, probably.
No.
I'm wondering if we're going to see a deluge.
I think we're
going to
need to.
It's a very expensive play. It's very expensive. The birds are also, they signify time. If they can block the dragon a few times, you don't have to close here, but you'd love to.
Certainly. And, the treasure tokens at this point are not the end of the world just because we have far less cards in hand. So...
Yeah, I'm trying to put together what Bad Moon has in hand based on the last few plays. It's not Epiphany. It's not counter magic. I doubt it's removal, or it would have been used on the Mind Flayer. So it's either, it might just be a few lands and maybe a sweeper like Burn Down the House, something like that, which could be really interesting down the stretch.
Let's take a look at the list here.
Untap land and Soul Shatter to clear the dragon.
There is 2 copies of Burn Down the House in the side, but not in the main. So I don't know if we're bringing those in this matchup.
Malevolent Hermit joins the team. Land drop was already made, so the Soul Shatter can't be cast this turn. Memory Deluge.
Kind of interesting. I know we've already played a land this turn, right? So playing the Hermit here stops us from keeping the other Hermit active.
I'm pretty surprised by that as well. It also let the Memory Deluge resolve, so I'm sure Airball is feeling pretty bad about that decision right now. Oftentimes when your opponent has 2 treasures and a ton of mana and a Goldspan Dragon, you're thinking to yourself, my tax effects like Hermit and Jwari won't matter, but I think stopping that Deluge would probably have definitely mattered. Bad Moon might not have done it, but then they'd have to do it on their own turn.
This turn was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, in all honesty. Egg Geist is... It's some good power, but Airball has a substantial board presence, and getting to untap here with both of his cards is going to end the game. We have an unsummon would save them for a turn here.
Bad Moon didn't find anything too powerful off the Deluge. I mean, the last several draws have probably been pretty heartbreaking because Bad Moon was in a spot where the right card would have put it away, a counter or an Epiphany, never found it.
Yeah, if there was some way to capitalize there on not having this white mode.
Streamception. Okay, wait. He doesn't use dark mode?
Apparently not. What is this?
Dude. Somebody's got to grab Carmen Sandiego there and shake him a bit, okay? If you see him before I do, shake him. Give him a shaking for that non-dark mode.
Well played, Airball. If you guys are interested in checking him out, you guys could always do the DGen exclamation DGen pulls up all the DGen streamers. You guys could check out all the team members who are playing, but there are others as well. All right, let's take a look at pairings and see who is still active. How many? We have 3 non-reported matches. Mono White versus Is It? Blue Tempo versus Is It Turns? And Jeskai Epiphany versus Dimir Control. Let's take a look at this Hey Miss. See if she is streaming. Oh, not active. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. Stream, gamers. We need you to stream.
Adam the Ant is another person that is still not reported. Give me one quick sec. Boop, boop. Lost my screen. Bad host.
Adamant was playing Mono Blue,
yes.
I believe.
We tried to see him earlier, but he had finished his match a little earlier than we could get to him.
And those Epiphanies out there trying to get him.
So I am glad that they're still in a match for us to check out. And if there's time in between the round after this, we could take a look at Adam the Ant's deck tech. We are in game 2.
Ooh.
The Ninja is up a game with the Epiphanies list.
We got Cinderclasms. We got Demon Bolts revealed. The Test of Talents appears to have revealed those. So there might not be any Alrund's Epiphanies into Ninja's deck anymore. I guess we can't really tell. But yeah, we're coming in at a pretty interesting point. There's a Ray of Frost that can go after that dragon and try to neutralize it. There's a Test of Talents to defend the Spectral Adversary, and there's only 9 life for the Ninja.
Hey Miss just rated us. Hey hun, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for playing in our tournament. I do appreciate it.
I was trying to get the overlay to work to see if I could find the exile pile to find out what test of talents hit, but the untapped overlay isn't working for me right now. Too bad. I'm really curious.
Are you trying to do that on my stream?
I'm trying to do that on Adamant's stream.
Oh, I was going to say, on my stream, that won't work. Keeping the test of talents here is pretty good, but they do have, 6 mana that they'll have access to for counter magic. So I feel like if they decide to cast this Epiphany, it's still probably a pretty good chance that it resolves.
Well, Benevolent Geist says that the non-creature spells that Adamant plays can't be countered.
Oh, that's right. I always forget about the backside of the Geist.
But the Ninja has a face-up Cinderclasm that can kill it. But
if we do that,
Adamant has a test of talents. The very interesting spot.
But if we test of talents the Cinderclasm, then we're gonna get Epiphanied on, right? Because we know that foretold card is an Epiphany, because we had a face-up Epiphany, and then they foretold a card.
That's right. So there's probably something there. So, I mean, maybe that nice from Ninja is very cheeky, right? Because knows what's coming. All right. There is an Alrun's in the hand. One thing that you can do when you have the opportunity to look through the opponent's deck with Test of Talents is you can figure out exactly what the foretold cards are if you want to.
If you have the time, you can count things, yeah, definitely. Especially with open deck lists like these events.
Yeah, we're probably about to see some birds. The question is always how many birds? How many turns will it be? And of course, if you're going to see birds, it's very important to keep your opponent's board in check so that they can't do that much damage to you. The Ninja reveals the last top deck was a Jwari Disruption, played it out as a land. So now there's another Epiphany, one more mystery card, and of course the mystery card off the top after that Epiphany. So a lot for Adamant to fight through, but say that there's just lands drawn, it could work out. The Demon Bolt can still take out the Benevolent Geist if the Ninja wants to start attacking, but that Spectral Adversary is a 2-turn clock, and there's Havens. We know that there could be 2 Havens attacking next turn.
All right, so it looks like I have a deck tech for the Orzhov Clerics, and they are going to be streaming to the Discord. So we're going to get to see our Orzhov Clerics after all. Hey-o!
That's exciting.
All right, let's finish up
Also
this.
curious to see how this one ends.
Oh, yeah, that's for next round.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be on top of it for once.
Oh, you're doing a great job. So this is Power Up Haven. This runs into a Demon Bolt. But that can be very intentional because there's 2 more Havens. So you kind of, I think the Ninja wanted to hit the Haven with the Demon Bolt. Oh, attacking with all? Oh my gosh, that's gutsy.
It is gutsy. We did see the Demon Bolt, but I feel like this is something that we're going to have to do eventually anyway. And we're hoping that the Faceless Havens are going to just be able to outpower them, essentially. Whoa.
I'm wondering what the plan. So the plan is to blow up the double block with the Fading Hope and completely clear the birds. I kept trying to think of a clever line to Fading Hope our own creature, like the Spectral Adversary, and phase out the birds. But that line is also very risky to removal spells. There goes a Haven.
Okay. Doesn't completely clear out the birds, but it's pretty darn close. And it also means that we are... ooh, that's kind of a nice card.
Wide by 0. I mean, it's a strong card. Is this the spot for it?
It is card advantage. The other option, like, I feel like there's no bad draw here because one more land means a double Faceless Haven attack next turn with only one card in hand from our opponent. That's really strong as well. Okay.
Ninja has a clutch Spike Field Hazard to take down the adversary.
Yeah. But they are now on top deck mode, and we know that we've got the pressure, the life advantage, and a solid card advantage card on top. It's only going to take 1 or 2 bricks here from Ninja for Adam the Ant to be able to get back into this game.
And if you're doing soul reads, that quick pass often feels like it's a brick, right? That
certainly.
Draw, go. Oh yeah. All right, with Divide by Zero available. With the damage on the board to create a lethal attack, the Ninja draws, and its unexpected windfall. This is it. Divide by Zero can bounce the windfall, and there's no card to discard. So it will not get a chance to resolve. As good as a counterspell in this situation.
And Faceless Haven will clean up the rest.
Adamant picking up, that's just game 2. Okay, we get a game 3. But Adamant brought this deck. You play mono blue tempo because you are tired of people taking extra turns and beating you. And we saw, oh yeah, that's its purpose. And the Ninja got to take 2 extra turns, didn't find what he needed, didn't get to close the game. And Adamant got him.
Less than 10 minutes for game 3. So I'm guessing that the game timer will decide a winner there based on who times out, right?
Right, the person who times out, which I think we saw it, but we'll see it as soon as it starts where we're at in time. I think somebody was on 8 minutes. It might have been Adam.
I thought the last game was the 8-minute timer.
Maybe. I mean, it's coverage brain.
It
all goes
together.
In. It all gets mashed up like it's a blender, and then we see what happens on the other end, you know? All part of the coverage brain. I think that's something that nobody gets enough credit for on coverage, doing tournaments all day. How much every round starts to blend into each other, and keeping it straight and keeping the moment and remembering the stakes is actually something that the best are really good at, that nobody ever is like, hey, you did a good job remembering what round you were in that time. I know that I've known Adamant for many years. One of the first people I got to know when I got into content. We've done some co-ops in the past. Does voice acting work. Actually has a really cool, smooth voice, and hasn't had I didn't know that he busted out the ant and got into VTubing. I think that's really cool for him because he has a really sweet voice. His voice acting skills are excellent.
Yeah, Adam the Ant and Semulin are 2 people that I really kind of got to know and hung out in their channels when I first started streaming Magic. They are both great. All right, so we have a Disruption and a Hermit.
Yeah, I think that's a keep. I don't know if it's not, a Delver Secrets or the Spirit, Ascendant Spirit kind of keep, but it's a keep.
There is a
the Hermit has a lot of work to do.
Of counter magic in a deck with Leer. But I feel like there's also enough bounce spells to still justify it, but it's kind of tough where it's like, if you draw the wrong half of your deck, this Leer is just kind of dead.
You're right, it can have issues, but one of my favorite things that I learned about Leer is when I learned this, it changed my relationship with Leer, because I never even put it in decks before. You can put full control on, you can target your Leer with fading. You can put a counter spell from your graveyard or hand on the stack, and then you can use a fading hope from the graveyard to target your Leer, so it bounces and then the card gets countered. It's evil.
Some
it's
super
beautiful.
sweet tech play there. And
Yeah,
you get to yeah, that's awesome.
It doesn't come up all the time, but when it does, you feel like a blue mage wants to feel, like $1 million. I bet that's a begrudging Spikefield hazard from Deninja because really wants to hit a Malevolent Hermit. Yeah, but wow, Adamant's not playing it. Wow. I'm sure that there's a reason. And I'm sure he's talking about it. But that feels like, ooh.
The timer option hasn't come up yet.
Neither timer being up is kind of surprising, right? Because of how late we are into the round.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, there it is. We got it.
Okay.
The Ninja just broke the 9-minute mark. That Faceless Haven's probably a great draw.
Yeah, now we've got Hermit and can hold open the Disruption/Negate, so that's fine.
Well, I guess there's a Field of Ruin too. Field of Ruin's pretty intense. Behold the Multiverse from Deninja. I wonder how Imrith Desert Doom how does that actually work out in this matchup? Because I feel like I'd be terrified to attack with it to get it Fading Hoped. Seems like a big tempo negative against Divide by Zero and Fading Hope. I don't know.
I think that's part of the reason it hasn't really found a home much in Constructed, just because of how much bounce magic there actually is in the format.
Yeah. Kind of like Brazen Borrower in the last format. This format too, your creatures are defined by, well, if they bounce it with Divide by Zero or Fading Hope, does it suck? If the answer is yes, you probably can't play it.
Yeah, and the fact that Divide by Zero actually can be played on the stack just means that, the Imrith's ability is just dead, right? Like you can't even get it to stick on the table for one turn, so that way you can attack with open mana the following turn to protect it from any sort of spell. You're just kind of hosed.
Yeah, man. Shouldn't they just make Ward, like, they had this new keyword, Ward, that's like a kind of nerfed hexproof, right? But what if they made it also apply on the stack? What if that was just part of what Ward does? That would have been cool.
Yeah, sort of like, this spell cannot be countered. We see that sometimes from time to time. And if we were to just put that as like this, to counter the spell, it must cost 3 more, right? Like that would definitely make things a bit more interesting. The Faithless Haven having Vigilance here has been pretty good. I'm wondering I would have played my Faithless Haven, so if they do something, we could try to disrupt it or something.
Trying to reason for that, all I can think of is that Adamant wants this Field of Ruin to hit this Faceless Haven before he reveals that he has another, because it might change what Deninja does. But I'm with you. I would have played the Faceless Haven to have more options. I love watching Adamant's stream with him. We have his voice muted here because I can tell he's doing the full caster thing of explaining through everything of why he's doing, just from the amount of ways that he's touching the cards and seeing the lips move on the avatar. It's pretty cool. So yeah, go drop Adamant MTG, or is he now just Adamant? He might have changed his name since I last talked to him. No, it's Adamant Plays.
Adam the Ant Plays.
Adam the Ant Plays. Go check out Adam the Ant Plays on Twitch. Cinderclasm. Are we protecting Malevolent Hermit? It's the only clock. Seems like a really loose use of a negate, especially on your own end step. It's gotta be terrifying to make this play.
Yeah, I mean, so it is kind of not a great negate, but if your plan is to play Leer here soon, I guess I'm fine with it. And then the Leer, you can still counter things with Leer in play in the Divide by Zero realm.
The ants, oh my god, the ant's growing.
He's waving to us.
It has
Aw.
hard. Oh, it has hard eyes. Oh my gosh, it's horrifying.
He knows he's on coverage. We're talking about his aunt.
It's a terrifying ant. It just wants to hug me until I die. Test of Talents here. It could completely take negates out of the deck. It's going to leave either way. Adamant's going to enter this next turn completely tapped out, which has to be so terrifying.
So many follows. Thank you guys. I'm all of a sudden the follow thing is just going off like crazy. CGB shout out, doing the job. We posted the link there, guys, so you guys can click on it. Also, I want to say we're like the second or third highest Magic streamer in the category right now, so coverage is going well. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying it.
That's pretty insane considering what we're up against. The Magic Online Showcase of Champions is going on, so we're taking on the mothership. And there's some big tournaments today that people are playing.
Yeah, I think
So
one of the
this is
other
cool.
people higher than us is like Newmont, so like that's to be expected. So like we're just doing really well. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the coverage.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I blew up his chat. I hope
Yeah.
it doesn't over distract him because
Thanks.
it looks like he's about to suffer.
Thanks, CGB, for not letting us see what the opponent casts ever.
Yeah. now the freaking ant alert means that we can't see what's going on. We're getting unexpected windfall galvanic iteration. So the ninja strategically getting Adamant to tap out and taking full advantage of it to get a ton of new cards and a huge mana advantage. He also has full knowledge because of the Test of Talents of Adamant's hand. He knows exactly how to line up his combo to finish this game. Adamant's going to need something to go very right. Oof, reaching for Lear, that's so ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we have a bounce spell. I'm assuming I haven't been paying the closest attention here, but, 1 mana bounce spell could be a thing. But yeah, this is definitely a tough spot here in game 3 for Adam the Ant, and I know we are drawing down on time here. 6 and 7 minutes on the clock.
Adamant actually ahead on time. This should be more than enough time for the ninja to close if that is an All-Runs Epiphany that is lurking in the Foretell zone. But we know it could also be a Demon Bolt.
It's also pretty interesting to see all of the like follows and stuff coming over from this stream, because it like is really cool to see the creators who decided to participate in this event get rewarded, and I'm glad they're all enjoying it.
Also, the viewership bump. Look at Adamant up to 72 viewers on a day he doesn't normally stream. I'm sure he's really excited about it.
Heck yeah, guys. Thank you so much. DGen Gaming doing what we're supposed to be doing.
You did start this as a community-oriented stream team, I remember. That was a big part of your goals. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really awesome to see. Even if the alerts are covering the gameplay at a very tense moment.
Yeah.
All right, chat. I know that you're known. I know that chat is known for its restraint and its ability to do exactly what one asks. So maybe follow Adamant after game ends, like exactly after. Malevolent Hermit attacks. Why not? It's what it does.
Oh, that's a lot of mana. That always makes me nervous.
Doing the heat check, the mana check.
Okay.
There's iteration.
Yep. So the divide would not.
Oh no.
Oh, big no.
So there's still 6 mana left.
Yep. So we're gonna be able to bounce.
Not the purple love. Not the purple love when you copy Epiphany. You are a disgrace. A disgrace, the ninja.
Oh man, we're gonna be able to bounce one of these epiphanies, which is probably still in their best interest.
I don't think it matters here, but the play, if you ever find yourself in that spot, viewer, let the galvanic iteration copying mechanism resolve and bounce the copy. What Adamant does, and I can't I'm going to stress this. I don't think it matters to the outcome.
Yes.
But what Adamant just did is give back the live copy of Alrund's Epiphany to Deninja to cast again.
Yeah, so that is an interesting thing that a lot of people don't actually know, is that the Divide by Zero can hit the copies of the spell. So it is important to pick your target carefully in this situation, because we do have another Galvanic Iteration that we can recast again, giving them another Epiphany lineup, right?
If you haven't been in that position before, it looked like Adamant was trying to target the Galvanic Iteration copy. You have to hit resolve on the iteration trigger, and then the copy will go on the stack. Then you can target it. I think that's why we saw the play work out the way it did. But if you've never been in that spot, you don't know. You think once you hit resolve, just all three will happen. Okay, stop. He's already dead. This ant has a family. Probably a very big one.
Oh my god, CGV.
Did you have to copy it again? Did you have to?
Oh man, just into the ground. Goodness. Adam the Ant, valiant effort though.
Yeah, give it up for him. Always a good sport, even if you get like 5 copies of Epiphany played on you, still drops the good game. I've done some some things that would make a lot of people salty to Adam the Ant over the years, and he's always a good sport. Really cool guy.
All right, guys. So we have a few minutes left before the pairings for round 5 go up. So we're going to be taking a look at a list that is currently 4-0. This is Silent Knight, a new content creator who jumped in for the tournament. So this is one of the more interesting lists, I think, in the tournament. We'll be live streaming to the Discord for us. It is a Orzhov
Hey
Clerics.
everyone, my name is Jason, and I go by Silent Knight on Twitch and my other social medias. I've been streaming a few months now, mostly narrative-focused, creative sandbox, and strategy-based games. I got into Magic a bit over a year ago, and honestly, it is one of my favorite games. The sheer scale of the different kinds of approaches and builds and playthroughs is absolutely staggering. I've been having a lot of fun learning and refining my craft in that time. Needless to say, I am very excited to be part of this tournament. My layout is an Orzhov Cleric deck with a healthy amount of life gain, removal, and graveyard control. The rock stars for this deck are the Pyre of Heroes, which allows me to ramp my creatures on the battlefield, Righteous Valkyrie for life gain and buffs, Aura for pulling from the graveyard, and Angel of Destiny for a spicy finisher. My mana pool is a bit small, but it is enough to keep the deck going, especially when I have these two pulling everything off the battlefield so I can control it. And for my sideboard, it's just reinforcing creature control and graveyard control with some air support and a Kaya just in case. I'm playing this deck because it's flexible and hard to stop once I get the ball rolling. Having gone up against most archetypes popular in the meta, I've been able to hold my own fairly well, and this deck definitely fits my more chaotic playstyle. So yeah, looking forward to testing my mettle, and I'll see you on the battlefield.
Awesome.